pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lord, for this past year, blessings you laid upon it. Continue to lay your blessings on this next year coming up. And Lord, just give wisdom to all the men and women that have been leading this city and continue to guide them towards their calling. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Roll call. Councilwoman Reeves is absent, but we still have a quorum tonight, and we'll proceed with business. First up is the approval of tonight's agenda. Does any council member have any questions on the agenda or any changes to it?
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve tonight's agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda approved. Citizen comments. Hearing no citizen comments tonight, we will proceed with our consent agenda. That includes the minutes of our December 15th meeting as well as appropriations ordinance 1307.
Move to accept the consent agenda.
I have one question.
Mark?
Check number 33673 to Kramer Contracting for the airport utility project. Is that the final payment?
No, it is not.
Okay.
I can't tell you the percentage, how much is remaining, but there still is a good portion remaining.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the final payment.
No.
Because they are not done.
No, they are not.
Okay, that's my question I had.
Any other questions or discussion on tonight's consent agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda approved. All right, moving along to our items of business tonight. A lot of beginning of the year housekeeping items. First up is actually to convene as the Greensburg Land Bank. So we will suspend this meeting of the Greensburg City Council and convene the meeting of the Greensburg Land Bank Board to have the Land Bank's annual meeting.
I've included in your agenda packet a report for this year. 4 properties were sold in 2025 and 8 properties were accepted into the land bank from the tax sale that the county put on earlier. 5 of those are available for purchase, not for sale, in the land bank at Starlight Park, the 301 block of South Main Street across the street here, and then the house at 811 South Grove that we're not ready to do anything with yet. I've included the ordinance that originally established the land bank, a map of those current properties, and the land bank policy. I feel like just review of some things we've been talking about recently, but we're required to do an annual meeting.
Well, I think it's a good review because we did have a lot of activity in the land bank this year, both in new properties in, but also properties out. So I think that's a good sign for a healthy land bank is their properties are moving and things are being done with them, which is exactly what we want.
Why is Starlight Park in the land bank?
It was placed in there, I mean, so it can be tax exempt, basically. We don't pay property tax on it, which I don't know why it's in the land bank, but
I mean, when I was reading through my agenda, I read that.
it has been.
I think it was just in there because they put all city property along here in there, and then it just never got deeded out.
Because we have no plans to transfer ownership of that.
It is city-owned property.
It is, and it wouldn't be taxed.
Why can't we just
Even,
pull it out?
we could pull it out of the land bank.
It's just a city park at that point.
Correct.
Yeah, so it might be something we look at doing
Yeah.
this year.
It's just always been in there.
Yeah, but I think for consistency's sake, it's being used as a city park. There's no plans to transfer
No.
it to anyone else. Might as well make it official, and it's just a park like any other park the city owns.
Who would want to buy a park anyway?
Oh, so it's culturally pretty good.
You never know.
good question.
So we do have an agenda. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Roll call. PBC member Reeves is absent tonight. We do have a quorum. We'll proceed with the land bank. I jumped ahead.
It's all right. Knew
Too
where you were
many of
going.
these things. I guess, yeah, are there any other specific actions we need to take as part of the land bank's annual meeting?
No,
Okay.
but I
Any
can
other-
have that on a future agenda for action.
Any other member of the land bank board have any business they'd like to discuss at our annual meeting? Hearing none, we will adjourn the annual meeting of the Greensburg Land Bank and temporarily resume the city council meeting because our next agenda item is what I wanted to jump ahead to, which is the annual meeting of the Public Building Commission. So we will again suspend the meeting of Greensburg City Council and call to order the meeting of the Public Building Commission for the PBC's annual meeting. And this is what we have the agenda for.
Yes.
First up, roll call. PBC member Reeves absent. We still have a quorum and we'll proceed with the Public Building Commission business. First up is to approve the minutes of our previous meeting, which was our annual meeting of 2025.
Yeah, sorry, I have a typo there.
Motion for that.
Yes.
So that's the minutes of our annual meeting for 2025.
Yeah, from January 6th, 2025.
I would make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the PBC's previous annual meeting on January 6th, 2025. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. Do we have any new communications to report for the Public Building Commission?
No.
Hearing none, we will move on to reports, which we do have some financial reports for the PBC, specifically payments related to the Big Wells bond.
The bond payments for 2025 were $55,745, and Big Well sales tax receipts, that's not just sales tax at the Big Well Museum, but citywide 0.5% sales tax collected was $111,201. So definitely enough there to cover those payments. As you may or may not remember, several years ago, we refinanced the bond and it will sunset in 2036.
Hard to believe that's just 10 years away, actually.
Yes,
But again, the
It's great.
refinancing, I know, shaved several years off that.
yeah.
Any questions on the financial reports for the Big Well?
When is that supposed to be paid off?
2036,
That's not that far off.
we're getting there.
Do payments stay the same up until then, or are
They
they
don't.
slowly decreasing on a yearly basis?
They vary annually. There's a payment schedule for the whole term. So every year, I think it's actually every 6 months.
I remember seeing that scale
Every
one
6
time, I think,
months,
when we
yeah.
refinanced, but I couldn't remember
Yeah,
whether they were the same till the sunset of the note or not.
no, they change a little bit every 6 months.
Okay.
Any other questions regarding the PBC financials? Hearing none, do we have any unfinished business from our previous meeting to conduct?
I don't believe so.
If we did, I'm sure we've all forgotten it by now.
Should be in the minutes.
Then we'll move on to new business, and the only new business for the PBC board is to select officers for the next year. Current officers are, president is myself, Councilwoman Reeves is vice president, and secretary is Councilwoman Kern. And with two of those leaving the council after this meeting, don't everyone volunteer at once, but we will need a new vice president and secretary at the very least, and if anyone wants to volunteer to be president, it's an easy job.
I'd recommend the most senior members of council that will be remaining.
At least you have a logic to it.
I was gonna
A
ask you
convenient logic, but a logic.
if the new ones can step into this role.
Honestly, it's probably not fair to have a new council member step in, so I think it probably would be best if it's filled by existing members.
You don't have to take minutes because I'm thinking before you.
That's one of the perks,
Kind of
though.
a
Yeah.
lame duck.
I mean, it's something you could throw it on the resume, and honestly, Stacy and Christie take care of all the work anyway, so. But I would be happy to serve as president again, if no one else wants to. If you want to, please have at it. Otherwise, do we have any volunteers for vice president and or secretary?
Sure.
I can do either one of those, unless Mark wants to.
They've already, you have both volunteers over there, Mark, so
They're both volunteering?
sounded like it to me.
Because I'm on the Comatera board and I'm president of the council right now, so somebody else needs to step up.
Do you guys want to paper, rock, scissors for who's VP and who's secretary?
It doesn't matter.
VP never has to do anything unless
It's
the
a pretty-
president dies.
it's a
right?
pretty-
So-
Typically, yes. It's one of the
All
best-
eyes there.
she has to go.
They're both pretty taxing positions.
Once a year.
I mean, in this role, president itself is not a whole lot. So I'm doing all the work here right now that you'll do for an entire year. So was that Wayne VP? Sure. And Nathan secretary?
We need it in a motion, or
We would need a motion.
I make a motion that Wayne serves as the vice president and Nathan as the secretary for the DEC 146.
Probably also need me as president.
And, I got you.
I'll second that.
All right, the officers for the Public Building Commission have been moved and seconded. Do we have any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Officers approved.
Vote before they back out.
We have one meeting a year, and this is it. So it's a job to go, it's not a hard one.
And you have to do this because I have to report to USDA. We got out of the quarterly reports, but yearly,
Yeah,
I have to submit all this stuff. So,
you know, the
that's
money
why
always
we-
comes with red tape.
That's why we do it.
Well, do we have any other business for the Building Commission before we adjourn the meeting? Hearing none, we will adjourn the meeting, annual meeting of the Public Building Commission and resume the meeting of the Greensburg City Council. And now we're ready for item of business number 3. Again, an annual item, just a waiver of gap rules for the 2026 fiscal year.
Correct. We do this annually to allow for cash basis accounting, so this resolution allows us to do that. You'll see the state statute included in there that allows for this, and then the accompanying resolution is 2026-01.
Yearly housekeeping.
Well, we've done this every year I've been here.
I'd make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-01.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 2026-01, which is the city's annual gap waiver for our 2026 fiscal year. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Resolution approved. All right, this is different business for us, and it's a new agreement with our web hosting provider, Civic Plus.
We have had our website hosted with Civic Plus since 2022. You may remember then that we went out to bid, asked for proposals. We had 3 proposals from different companies, and Civic Plus was ultimately chosen to host our website. They are switching the software platform that they host our website on. I won't get into all the details of it because I probably can't explain it very well, but basically it'll be a new platform, and I asked the question, what if can we not do that? And the answer was no. We have to migrate over to their new program that they'll be using. So there is a new price tag that is associated with that, of course, and so with this change, the new agreement is $6,825, and that agreement is attached. Our renewal is actually not until June. That's when we first signed up with them. So they would go ahead on approval of this and put us in the queue to begin that migration process over to their new platform, but we would not actually be paying until June for this renewal, as that's when that takes place. Just for comparison, our amount last year was about $5,100. So we've been very pleased with Civic Plus. It's very user-friendly. I think it looks nice. We didn't make any investments in a website for a very, very long time prior to 2022, so this is kind of, unfortunately, the going rate for things like this nowadays. The only other option would be to go out and request proposals again, but I don't think we would find anything much better price-wise. This would probably be in the same realm.
Council, any questions for Stacy on the renewal agreement with Civic Plus?
I assume there's not competing, somebody else that you've already looked at, or you're just kind of.
I have not. I have not done any price shopping this time. That could be something we could do again and go through a website switch.
If we sign up for this, if I read this right, it's a 2-year agreement, or?
Well, it's annual. I think the way that reads is a little confusing because our renewal's not actually till June.
So we could sign up this year, and then if we wanted to look around, if we decide we don't like the transition,
Yes,
go out and find something else.
correct.
I guess I would throw in my 2 cents that Civic Plus is kind of an industry standard for operating municipal websites. The county website, we were looking to update ours a little over a year ago, and we did do the full proposal process, and we got proposals from a few different companies. Pricing was all in the same ballpark. It's in line with kind of what we see here. So we absolutely could go out. I'm going to say probably if we did, price-wise, we're going to be looking at similar no matter who we go with. And if we're happy with the service, I'd say I'd lean probably towards staying with them for a while yet, because 3 years is not a long time to stay on the same website platform. We'd had our previous website platform for probably at least 10 before that, if not longer.
It was gifted to us at the
Yeah.
time of the tornado.
Yeah.
So, for free. We had it for quite a while.
Well, I move to accept the proposal by Civic Plus.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the website renewal agreement with Civic Plus. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion approved. All right, one more item of business is the year-end review report, just kind of reviewing our accomplishments and what we've done in 2025.
Yeah, these are just some bullet point highlights, not an exhaustive list by any means, but just some highlights from the year. I won't necessarily read through them, but we've had some good progress on some projects that we've been working on for a while and grants that have come in. And Heather also put together a list of items that tourism has completed over the year, and I think that's a great snapshot too of the work that's been done there to attract people to visit our community and have a great experience while they're here. I did not include a 2025 financial report yet with the payables on the agenda tonight. There were still some items pending that I want to make sure are reflected in those, so I'll have a year-end financial report for you at the next meeting. But happy to answer any questions or go over any of the items that were listed there if you have any questions.
Council, any questions or comments on that year-end report, either the general one for Stacy or the specific one that Heather gave us for tourism? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and proceed with the meeting. But if, as always, any questions at all, please feel free to ask city staff. I'm sure they've got the answer at hand. Last item of business tonight is a little bit of a bittersweet, maybe. As we might know, this is the last meeting for some outgoing council members. Councilman Reeves couldn't be with us tonight, but Haley, you've been doing this for 13 years now, which is kind of hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, just want to thank you for all your years of service, all 13 of them, to the people of the city of Greensburg. So, just have a little certificate for you and a thank you note, just to kind of commemorate all the great service you provided to Greensburg and all of its residents for this decade plus. How dare you leave us?
I appreciate it, and I do want to thank former Mayor Dixon for asking me to step out of my comfort zone and serve in this capacity, because I never would have probably thought to do this on my own, but I got to work with a lot of great council members, a couple mayors, multiple city administrators, and I think that with the incoming council members and current, I think we're in good shape.
Well, again, just thank you for all your service, and, you know, don't rule out coming back in the future if you're needed.
Did you get a little applause?
Thank you, Hayden. All right, Stacy, city staff reports.
Our annual Tree City USA application has been completed for 2025 certification, and our guys are already starting to work on getting us some credit towards next year. They've been trimming some trees here on Main Street that have been needed some pruning for quite a few years. So over the winter months, they're going to be doing that and hope to make it all the way down and back. They might not like me saying that, but they're getting a start on it at least. In the process of working on several grant applications right now. The first is for the KDHE Waste Tire Grant for recycled tire rubber mulch to go in at Bigwell Park. We've received this grant 3 times previously that I've applied for. Over there under the playground equipment, it's sand, and over time a lot of that sand has disappeared. We battle stickers over there. So we still have the weed barrier fabric, some left over from the pump track project that we'll be able to use there. And then, so this will just be for the purchase of the mulch. I don't have a quote yet from the company how much it'll be, but I'm estimating under $5,000 total. This grant's a 50-50 match, so we have donation funds to be able to cover that match. I'm also working with Lochner on the next round of Kansas Airport Improvement Grant applications. Those are due at the end of the month. And we'll be applying for runway paving, as we have been for quite a few years. It'll be on the agenda for the next meeting for your consideration for approval of that application. On Thursday the 15th, KDOT and PEC will be here to do a field check walkthrough on the design of the sidewalk project that we received the Transportation Alternatives Grant for. Weather permitting, we'll walk around. Weather not so permitting, we'll do more driving and looking. I've scheduled to meet with Brandy Waldschmidt at the school to talk about areas around the school to make sure it fits their needs. So we'll be meeting with her also that morning while they're here. And once again, our community has benefited from the extreme generosity of Mr. Charles Weiss from Waco, Texas. Every year, towards the end of the year, I get an email from Mr. Weiss, and I did this year as well, and we received a check just before the new year for $60,000 that's been put into the donation fund. So, as always, you know, keeping community-type projects in mind, I think, has been the goal of the council in how to spend those funds. So, if you have something that you really think is a good idea, happy to discuss that. Otherwise, for the meantime, it will just sit in the donation fund, ready for that day when we have a project. Work has begun on the moderate income grant funded housing project on West Lincoln. You may have seen some dirt moving over there, and I think we'll start to see some forms for concrete over there in the near future. And just want to remind you that the next council meeting will be on Tuesday, January 20th, instead of the regular Monday due to the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. So save the date for Tuesday instead of Monday. And it will be the first council meeting for a couple gentlemen back there.
Questions for Stacy?
Not really a question, but talking about trees, I feel like the trees over at the pool that were transplanted have seemed to have done very well. And I hope in the spring
Yes.
that they all, you know, that they look really good throughout the summer and fall.
You know, for being a terrible time to transplant trees, July is not when you wanna do that. You know, Marcus was pouring water on them almost every day, so, and having a wet summer helped as well, so. Fingers crossed in spring
We'll know in spring.
we'll know, and we'll start pouring water to them again, as soon as we get water back on over there.
What is that, this contribution by Mr. Wise, what does that put our donation fund up to?
Oh, gosh. Some of it I've put into CDs, a portion of it.
I'm just curious.
And we had another account that we closed and rolled over, I would say over 200. I could get you an exact
No,
number.
I'm just curious. You know, wow.
He has contributed significantly over the years. My records show over 500,000, and that's on the low end.
Definitely deserves to have a parking lot.
Yeah.
At least.
Yep. Any other questions for Stacy? Do we have any governing body comments tonight? Hearing none of those, that does bring us to the end of tonight's agenda, so we will adjourn the meeting. Thanks for your time, everybody.
So I get to keep this?
Oh, yes. Actually, you can keep the holder too, right? Then they-
I sent me holders, you get sweet.